Have you ever thought about how teachers are prepared as well as other education professionals? Have you ever thought about how the quality of educator preparation is sustained either through accreditation or continuous improvement? If so, then you're in the right place. Welcome to Up Accelerated Excellence Inspirational Shorts, recorded during the fall 2024 annual CAEPCon conference, standing for CAEP, the Council for Accreditation of Educator Preparation. Join us in dialogue with leaders of educator preparation from across the United States. I am Jacob Easley II, PhD, PMP. I am your host, and this is Up Accelerated Excellence, a podcast for the advancement of educational effectiveness and equity across traditional and non-traditional learning spaces and experiences. Let's get into it. It's Up Accelerated Excellence, and we are on site at the CAEPCon, which is CAEP Conference, Fall 2024 in Arlington, Virginia. And we have another guest to introduce to you. Sir, will you please tell us your name, your affiliation, and your role at your organization?
Of course. And foremost, thank you so much, Dr. Easley, for providing me with this opportunity. My name is Dr. Costonzo Bryant-Martin, and I am the director of the Call Me Mr. program and an assistant professor of education at South Carolina State University. However, I always share with people that my legacy began many decades ago. I'm a third generational graduate as well as a third generational worker of South Carolina State University. My grandfather started in 1960 as a professor of counselor education, and my mother currently teaches there as a professor of special education, and now I'm there as an assistant and a director in the education department.
So this is really a family enterprise and legacy.
Absolutely.
At a single institution. So what would be something of interest for folks who are not familiar with South Carolina State University?
You know, an area of interest is that we're very family oriented. SC State University has a history, and our mission initially was to prepare teachers to go into the teacher education field. To give more information, SC State University is a life-changing institution. The way you enter is not the way that you will leave. And one of the things that are characteristic to HBCUs are the fact that you're more than just a number. When we look at some of these flagship institutions, they provide exceptional experiences and resources, but specifically and contextually at our institution, we're really focusing on the holistic development of students and ensuring that they're successful in their programs and studies.
I really like that. So, Costonzo, you mentioned earlier that I believe this is your first time attending the CAEP conference.
It is, absolutely.
Okay, so as a first timer, tell us, how has this experience been and what have you learned and you're going to take back with you?
It's been absolutely phenomenal and exceptional. I've learned so much. One thing that dawned on me is I've learned a lot about the what behind the why, and pretty much at our institution, why we are doing these things, why students must have a 3.0, why students must be a candidate before they're admitted into the teacher ed field. And so on my side, as a junior faculty member, being in my second year in higher education, it's equipped me with the knowledge to understand what we need to do to have an effective, high-quality program for our students and to remain in good standing with CAEP accreditation. But other than that, it's been phenomenal because I've been able to network with phenomenal individuals across my state that I've met, from USC to College of Charleston to nationally.
Right.
And for these individuals to give me recommendations and advice personally and professionally, so that we can honestly be the most effective that we can be.
So one thing we focus on at this podcast is educational effectiveness and equity.
Right.
So from what you've learned today, how do you think that the CAEP conference or the insights you've learned from CAEP conference will advance equity at Southern Carolina State University?
Okay. Well, foremost, one thing that I was really just very enlightened to know in the standards of a CAEP, they have diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so that we have to meet these benchmarks. We have to develop recruitment plans that are outside of not just the institutional recruitment plan, but a specific targeted plan for education majors to be brought into our profession. So when we think about the intentionality that goes into CAEP, it just really helps us to have that equity piece to make sure that we're reaching populations of students that we may not be reaching. Now, contextually at my institution, being a part of the Call Me Mr. program, we do recruit minority male educators. And in South Carolina, that's been a very significant issue where less than 2% of our state population or state teachers are black male educators in the classroom. And I found out through this conference that our program, our initiative through Clemson University actually assists us in having that effectiveness and equity and equality.
So Call Me Mr. did start at Clemson.
It did.
And this is one of those, I'm going to say a national model.
It is.
For expanding or growing the number of black male teachers
Yes.
into the profession.
Yes, absolutely.
And what successes have you had so far with your Call Me Mr. program?
You know, I have to tell you, this is my second year being the director of the Call Me Mr. program at SC State University. And it's been life-changing, even for me as a young man, to learn these principles about how we can effectively and go inside these classrooms to be engaging, to develop those relationships and rapports, and even just to have the mentorship for us to be effective. But programmatically at our institution, students are passing praxis. They are doing well. Our cohort have 3.5 GPAs and higher because they have that mentorship and that support and guidance throughout their studies. We are very hands-on.
That's amazing.
Yes, our misters, not only in our cohort, but at the state level and nationally, are teachers of the years. We are principals, we are professors, we are individuals who are revolutionary and really changing the paradigm of education because we must to counteract and to be solutions to the issues and challenges that we have today.
So that's really wonderful.
Yes.
So given what you've learned here at CAEPCon and the work that you're engaged in your Call Me Mr. program at South Carolina State University, what advice would you give to other educational preparation programs to advance their efforts for educational effectiveness and or equity?
You know, definitely CAEP puts together a really outstanding model. So in following those standards, you know, we do have to know our narrative. We have to know our story as they've communicated to us, because it empowers us and it liberates us. It allows us to recognize that we are unique and we are different among all our various contexts. So the first approach, or the first thing I would recommend, is for you to really know your narrative, but also see that's the input, but we also have to focus on the output. And so we have to question our narrative. So when we come up with these things, whether it's with recruitment, retention, graduation, students in the field as program completers, we have to ask ourselves, what job have we done, and have we done it successfully? And as everyone has communicated, put together those measures to evaluate our effectiveness so we can really identify the output.
Excellent. So Costonzo, I want to thank you for this opportunity to learn and share with you here at EdUp Accelerated Excellence.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for engaging with the EdUp Accelerated Excellence community. You can find this episode and others on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Music. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to follow us and share within your network.